I never imagined my family would be torn apart over a wedding dispute, but that's exactly what happened. The morning sunlight streamed through the kitchen window, illuminating not just the chaos that had become our lives, but also the shadows lurking within my heart. It all began with the wedding plans. A joyful occasion quickly turned sour by my husband Mark's second wife, Lisa, a woman who seemed to relish her control over everything. Each day, I felt her suffocating presence creep into every corner of our lives, wrapping around my throat like a noose. I can still hear her sharp voice, slicing through the air like a knife during our first family meeting about the wedding. Why don't we make it a destination wedding? I know the perfect place. The room fell silent, and I could feel the weight of their eyes boring into me, waiting for my response, like I was a performer on a stage, and I was losing my grip on the script. Mark nodded along, but I caught the flicker of discomfort in his eyes, as if he were caught in a web spun from his past with her and our future together. Jealousy twisted in my gut, igniting a fire of resentment that he could still be so charmed by her, as if I was merely an afterthought in our shared life. As days melted into weeks, Lisa's demands morphed into outright commands. She insisted on colors, venues, and even the guest list. Every time I mustered the courage to assert my vision, it felt like I was shouting into a void, my voice swallowed whole by her relentless need for dominance. One evening, after yet another exhausting conversation with Lisa, I broke down to my best friend, Sarah, my voice trembling with vulnerability. I feel like I'm losing my husband to her, I confessed, like I'm just an afterthought in my own wedding. Sarah's eyes softened, her compassion a lifeline thrown to me in turbulent waters. You need to stand your ground, Candace. This is your day, too. I knew she was right, but the thought of confronting Lisa filled me with dread, the kind that twists your stomach and makes you question your own strength. Then came the biggest blow. Lisa insisted on having her daughter be the flower girl. My heart sank as I realized this was a direct insult to my son, who was meant to be the ring bearer. Anger flared like a wildfire in my chest, consuming my rational thoughts. I confronted Lisa one afternoon, my heart racing as I said, "This is our wedding, not a family reunion for you." Her cold smile sent shivers down my spine, a cruel reminder of how little she valued my feelings. Her laughter echoed in the room, devoid of warmth. "Oh, dear Candace, I'm just trying to help. What's the harm in including my daughter?" In that moment, I understood. I was dealing with someone who would never back down, someone who thrived on manipulation. Tensions escalated until one fateful family gathering when Lisa physically attacked my son, shoving him aside during a heated argument over ring bearer duties. My heart shattered into a million pieces, a visceral pain that left me breathless. Protective instincts surged through me and I screamed, "Get away from him!" as I rushed toward my crying, confused son. I felt Mark freeze beside me, and a wave of anger crashed over me like a tsunami. "How could you let this happen?" I demanded, but he merely shook his head, trapped between loyalties that felt like chains binding him to her. In the days that followed, we made the gut-wrenching decision to ban Lisa from our home and the wedding. Each moment of that choice weighed heavily on my heart like an anchor dragging me down into despair. Mark, however, refused to attend the wedding without her, and the realization hit me like a punch in the gut. I was losing him too. My heart felt like it was being ripped in two, the betrayal coursing through my veins like poison. I cried to my sister over the phone, "How did it come to this? I just wanted to get married." Her voice came through as a soothing balm. "You have to protect your son, Candace, even if it means standing alone." We pressed charges against Lisa and obtained a restraining order, a choice I never thought I'd have to make. But the safety of my children took precedence over everything else, even my own sense of peace. As time passed, we distanced ourselves from Mark's side of the family, a painful severing that felt like cutting off a limb, yet it was necessary for our well-being. The loss was palpable, echoing in the silence of our home. One night, I sat on the couch, flipping through old family photos, each image a reminder of what once was. The ache in my chest throbbed with every glance, a reminder of love lost and innocence shattered. Therapy helped me untangle the web of my feelings, and I began to confront my resentment toward Mark for enabling Lisa's toxic behavior. "You need to stand up for us, Mark, or I can't do this anymore," I told him, my voice quivering with conviction. Finally, the wedding day arrived, a day I had dreamed about but now felt marred by chaos. Still, as I walked down the aisle, the sun shining brightly, my heart pounded with a mix of hope and fear, a testament to the journey that had brought me here. My son, in his little tuxedo, walked proudly as the ring bearer. I couldn't help but smile, a glimmer of joy piercing through the darkness that had clouded our lives. I still loved Mark, but it dawned on me that Lisa's behavior had created scars deeper than I'd ever admitted. Her shadow loomed large over our lives, casting doubts on the love we shared. After the ceremony, I found myself standing by the window, gazing out at the yard, envisioning the future we could build together. A drama-free home filled with laughter and love, a stark contrast to what we had endured. While I mourned the relationships my children would never have with that side of the family, I turned my focus inward, determined to create a loving environment for them. I would protect them fiercely. As we settled into our new normal, I felt a sense of relief wash over me, as if the storm had finally passed. I was determined to keep the peace we'd fought so hard for, even if it meant standing alone. Mark and I began to reconnect, slowly rebuilding our bond, yet I could see the shadows of regret in his eyes, an unspoken acknowledgement of all we had lost along the way. One night, I whispered to him, "I want to move forward, but I can't forget what happened." He nodded, understanding the complexities of our emotions as we stood on the precipice of a fragile new beginning. With each passing day, I felt stronger, more grounded, ready to embrace the journey ahead. I was prepared to protect my family at all costs, no matter the obstacles that lay before us. Thank you for watching. For more real stories and powerful dramas, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore our Twisted Ancestry channel.